everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the GVGCast 113, where we hang out, chat with all of you, and see what's been happening over the past week. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined by two very special guests this evening, Brandon Miracle and Daniel Alba. It's been a long time, fellas. How you doing?
It sure has been. Hi. Who are these people that I'm looking at right now? Where are we? Is this? Am I supposed to be here right now? How's it going?
Yes.
What is this shirt?
It's
This
outdated.
isn't right.
I'm like in the past when I look at your shirt, Brandon.
Oh, so many different iterations that logo has gone through.
Mm-hmm. How
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess first of I guess the big thing we should ask is how you're doing, Daniel, because it's been a while. You've been running the show, but you haven't been on the show.
Yeah.
So, how you feeling?
Everyone, take care of your voices, by the way, because so this happened in June. I'm still not at 100%.
It hasn't been that long.
Yeah. So it started in June, in which we had a whole stream of streams. That was when, Summer Games Fest was happening. I was doing a lot of streams. I was doing other streams elsewhere with like voice stuff. I was straining my throat a lot more than I should have, multiple days in a row. And then there was a weekend where I got sick. I got like a weird congestion and sore throat that I didn't do anything. I wasn't out doing anything germy. That was actually my body telling me to stop because it lasted only for like a couple of days and then it went away. But I once I felt better, I kept doing vocal stuff over and over. And then that's when I started to feel like this funny lump in my throat. You know, like if you have like almonds or a carrot and you swallow it and you feel like, oh, it's like still something in there, right? That was there for a very long time. And I was like, why isn't this going away? And so I realized as time went on, it was getting harder to talk to the point where it got worse. That whatever lump was in there, essentially, I pulled a muscle, the vocal cords. And as you know, you can't just like apply medicine to a pulled muscle. You just kind of have to wait that one out. So I even asked around some more voice actor friends. Bo Bridgeland, bless his soul. I asked him as well, like, dude, am I in danger? What should I be doing? And have you ever experienced this happening to someone in your field before? So he gave me some good advice. I followed it. Went to a doctor. That was a whole other ordeal because our healthcare system is not good. So
No.
I had to essentially because I changed healthcare providers in this year and it apparently wasn't fully set up, so I had to basically go to ER instead because they weren't able to have me have a doctor until like maybe 2 months from that point because there was a wait list. So that was a whole thing. So yeah, I figured out that I just had to stay off of it. They did a bunch of checks, they did blood tests. It wasn't like anything that was a lot, it could have been a lot worse, but thankfully I wasn't, exerting it as more as time went on. So yeah, stay hydrated. Don't exert your voice. If you do voice work, and be mindful of what your limits are as well, because your vocal cords, they are a muscle. If you strain them too far, you could do damage. And if you're not careful, it could be irreparable damage. So yeah, I just recorded for a video just the other day, and so I feel it a little bit, but I feel like I can at least talk. I know this is probably the longest stream of talking I'm going to do this whole night.
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I hear it, and I get a little worried for you. It's like, all right.
Yeah, no. When
Don't hurt yourself.
When I went to New York, I had to actually speak a lot because there were people around, and by the end of the first night, I was like, it's either gonna be okay or I'm gonna be suffering. But it only hurt a bit after I came back, and so I'm learning my physical limits of speaking. So hopefully I can show up more often, a little more. I really want to be at better health so that when I go to PAX, I can talk to y'all next week. So I should be pretty good by then.
Your vocal cords will definitely be getting a workout then. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. So we got like a meetup next week in PAX on Saturday, I think, one of those days.
I think so, yeah.
Ash and I and Steve are all going to be there for y'all. and yeah, it should be fun. I am uploading a video before I leave, so that'll be a nice way to kind of ease back. And then I'm gonna disappear again for like half a week, so I won't be on GVGcast next week. But here I am now, and I'm glad to be with you guys again. So hello.
Yeah, glad to have you. Uh, what about you, Brandon? How are you doing? How are you holding up? Because from what I understanding, there is just all the information coming out about Monster Hunter Wilds.
To tell you the truth, I haven't gotten to really absorb most of it yet.
Oh no.
I have from morning until night for like the last 2 weeks in a row. I've been working. Um, this is the first time I've stopped working really since then. So I'm still kind of catching up mentally.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
so they've done like 2 hour streams every day of Gamescom so far, and I haven't watched any of them. So maybe
Gosh.
tomorrow I'm just gonna sit in the living room and
Binge.
turn into a vegetable.
Yeah. Oh my God. They've been going all out during this convention, it seems like. And Ash has been giving us updates on the line for Monster Hunter Wilds, and every time he sends a picture, it's 8 hours long.
on on day two, as soon as it opened, the queue got to 10 hours long, and they just had to close it for the day.
And you said you would wait. You would wait that length to play it when you
Why is your
said.
audio so low?
I would. I as far as Gamescom is concerned, I looked at the lineup of all the major games, not counting indies, of course. And yeah, I'd waste a whole day on Monster Hunter.
Oh God, I'm trying to think. Is there a game I would wait that long for in order to play? And I don't know if there is. Like even with like Final Fantasy VII remake or rebirth or what have you, it's like I can't do it.
Imagine
I think
going out all the way out there, spending all that time just to sit in a line for like a whole day's worth of work, 8 hours.
standing in line is the work. Playing the game at the end is the reward.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, from my understanding, it's a pretty good reward. How long is it? How long are they letting people play the demo? Like I don't even know how long the demo is.
I think it's half an hour. There's also
Oh,
two demos. There's a solo demo and a multiplayer demo, and they are
oh my
different.
gosh.
Um,
So you'd be waiting twice.
yep.
Well, I guess that explains why it's such a long line because I'm sure they have a bunch of TV set up, but there's no way that's enough to accommodate everybody.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, multiplayer setups would be for 4 people at a time, so that would help a little bit. Um, but yeah, that solo player queue is probably causing most of the issues.
it, it is giving me flashbacks to it's either 2016 or 20 I think it was 2016. Basically whenever Nintendo's E3 booth was just Breath of the Wild and the entire booth just filled with monitors, filled with ways to play it, along with all the cool diorama stuff. And it's still like again, 8 hour wait, almost the entire day, just stretched out. You can just see it. Just nothing you can do. It's just
And
filled.
it was so different. Like the reception of Monster Hunter has changed so greatly between World and today. Because I remember at E3 2019 when they were showing off Iceborne, I stood in line for maybe 30 minutes tops. I just walked in and I got in, no trouble at all. So seeing this happen now, like, yes, World was Capcom's best-selling game of all time, but like, it still hasn't quite hit me that Monster Hunter has finally bridged the gap in the West. Um, it's a good feeling for me.
Amazing how much that persistence can just pay off. Where it just all of a sudden you get that one game that just skyrockets it.
Yeah, it's I love to see it. Um,
Yeah.
sorry to Ash about Mega Man, but
Mega Man had to be sacrificed in order for Monster Hunter to live.
Mega Man will be in Wild somewhere. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, just what we want. You know what? Be clever. Make a Palico have oh god, I haven't got to his game yet, so I forget the cat's name. There's a cat from the Game Boy Mega Man 5.
I'm surprised they haven't done that
Tango.
yet. They
Yeah.
had Rush and Monster Hunter Rise for your
Yeah,
Palamute.
I saw that. I was like, what? I mean, to be fair, I think Tango's popped up in what, 2 games at most. Rush is there.
Well, I can only hope that they'll do it. Um, right now, it's just me having to cope with the fact that I'm not playing Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that's trust me, I've gone through that before where it's like you're really excited for this one thing, you can't go to this other thing, and the game you really want to play is there, and it's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, this only happens for me once every 5-6 years we get a new generation. Like we get Monster Hunter yearly, biannually almost, like, but those are usually expansions, updates. Like this is a new generation of Monster Hunter. This is like Pokemon getting a new generation. That's the level of what this is for me. Um, so it's sad having to watch from a distance.
'Cause by generation, this is Gen 6?
This is Gen 6. If you look at the
Gen
Wilds
6.
logo, the little icon on the right is in the shape of a 6.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I
World
noticed
was
that.
Gen 5, and then before they were just numbered.
Mhm. So what's Rise considered? Just like,
Rise is so there's 2 Monster Hunter teams. There's the core team that makes the numbered entries, and then there's the portable team. Uh, Monster Hunter Portable, Portable Second,
mm,
Monster Hunter Generations. They made that too. So this is Monster Hunter 5 Portable. That's what Rise is.
oh my god. I can't. I'm actually impressed you had an answer for that.
Yep. I am a wealth of knowledge. I'm sure if you ask me anything, I probably have an answer.
So I'm guessing there's a third team for the stories franchise.
Uh, yes, but I think Tsujimoto, who's series producer, still has involvement in those games. I'm not quite sure how that one breaks down, but
Mm,
for all intents and purposes, there are 2 Monster Hunter teams, and they work opposite games.
yeah. Um. So I think it was just us three for the for the opening night live. Um.
Hmm?
Any good reflections on that ever in the time since we watched it? Because the more I reflect on it, I was like, man, that was a nothing show.
I kind of regret watching it, to be honest. That's just kind of a waste of time if I'm being real. Um, there are games there that I was interested in, but I think time and time again we find that these old format like stage presentations just they don't hit the same. Like you want the audience energy, but you don't really get that anymore. Um,
Mhm.
I think we're just chasing lightning in a bottle. Like that
It's
era's
not.
gone.
Yeah, it's not special anymore. I think that's sort of the because you think the E3, it was the one time a year where all these announcements were coming out. It was just like this was the big stuff. This was setting up the rest of the year. Of course, everybody was excited for what was coming. But now it's just like, well, we get it throughout the year. It's constant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
before we had anything like that, E3 was just like the one constant one time a year that people come together, developers come together, all the big franchises, all these actual big names come together under one roof, and they tell you what you're in for the next year or so. And ever since we've had directs, state of plays, all these sort of things, like they become less, I don't know, less needed as time goes on. Like we don't need, especially the fact that it's a 2 hour show or more. Like you don't need to elongate these sort of announcements, especially when a lot of the announcements that we see in these we already know about. These are things that we've already heard about, and like we don't have, you know, the direct discussions from Nintendo, from Microsoft, from Sony as we did beforehand. Like it's just, I don't want to be mean and Jeff or anything, but it's kind of an off-brand E3. That's just what it is. It's just like it's
Mhm.
E3 at home. This is what we're
uh,
looking at this point. And then the Game
I think
Awards kind of do
there's
that again, a second time a year, which we don't need like that many hours. When you could truncate it a bit more to get the really exciting ones out of the way, but most of it is just like I could just read this in a tweet.
there's a little bit of a rose tinted glasses thing going on too, because like when you think back to E3 of old, most of those presentations weren't very good. Like
No.
every year there was maybe one that was standout, and then the rest were for lack of a better word, snooze fests, right? Um, so
Yeah.
I don't think
I
there's really a way to ever go back to that, and I don't think we need to.
I mean, I was actually going to bring up the point that back before I started going, a lot of those E3 presentations from the big three were also partly investors meetings because a lot of the
Yeah.
time was taken up like here's how well the game's selling, here's how like here's our top games, here's how well the system is.
Do you like
Um
graphs? Because we
yeah,
got
there's
graphs for you.
a lot of graphs.
Sometimes you
So
show.
we've gotten rid of the graphs and we cut the fat for a while. And that's where I think it started becoming feeling a little bloated because they felt like, well, we still got to fill up this time. And now it's become, let's have ads for other things. It's just, all that stuff like, check out all this stuff for Gamescom, or when it's Jeff, it's like, here's a bunch of other random commercials just throwing in to help fund this.
I,
It's like the fat is kind of returned, but it's hard to have that same level of excitement.
I think the last like big stage show I remember getting really excited for was the Nintendo Switch presentation back in
Yeah.
2017. But, that was for a new console. It cast a wide net. There were a lot of games there. And they announced the release date of the most anticipated video game of all time up to that point, right? So yeah, it's like you got to throw a dart, and if you're gonna have a stage show, make sure that you have the ammo to back it up, I guess.
Yeah.
There was
Honestly,
something.
the last time I can think of a big like Switch was sort of doing its own thing, so it was very much focused on that for that stage show. But as far as E3, um, the PS4 presentation from Sony, especially because they were able to just use that to bag on Xbox the entire time,
Oh
and
yeah.
all their announcements about the One and all that stuff, and just that whole simple give a game to somebody else. Like Sony dunking on Xbox is probably the last time we got a truly electrifying show, and thankfully I was there for that. That was a good time.
We really look at these for like the highlight. We remember the highlights. There's something magical about the lowlights as well, about just making fun of the people there themselves. And it's not like sometimes it's not meant to be mean spirited or anything, but we remember those really cringy moments as well. Not every presentation every year is fantastic, even in a place like E3. But there's something that we lose by, you know, trying to keep it alive through these other presentations that obviously try to be the same thing. And so as time goes on, we're just more accustomed to getting smaller bite-sized presentations through other companies, and sometimes not even the big three, everyone else as well. Like we get the presentations. Honestly, yeah, some of the ones we get like on Summer Games Fest, like Devolver Digital and whatnot, those are more entertaining than the whole of the actual main big event, because these are more truncated and or they respect our time a bit more than what we get for the big shows.
There's even like an element too, like there's an expectation to react to these presentations, like from a content perspective. And like I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus, but there are people out there who put on airs with reaction content like that, right?
Hmm.
Um, I'm just not gonna do that.
No.
Even for things I'm excited about, I'll usually have a fairly muted reaction because I'm trying to process what I'm looking at still. Um, so like part of that like kind of takes me out of the experience too. It's just like I'm like, oh yeah, I have to be saying stuff when I'm watching this thing that is boring me to tears.
Yeah. I mean, mine are typically like big reactions up front, and then it's like, shut up, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to be fair, at least I get to watch now, because for the longest time with the Rex, it was off and on the entire time because I was recording the whole damn thing. So it's not. It's nice that I could actually enjoy these for a while. Um,
Hmm.
so that was certainly different.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that I feel like we would have had more fun just reacting to the museum direct than watching all of Gamescom. I was like, man, if I
Yeah,
was
that's
feeling a bit better, I would have just jumped on that one instead.
I was gonna be
yeah.
there for that, and then minutes before it started, I got a phone call and I got thrown into a meeting. So
You didn't really have the highest hype levels for the museum direct anyways, so I don't know how that would have worked out for all of us. And
I
no.
no
mean,
one on the team seemed excited. I'm just like, come on, guys, it's a Nintendo
it's
museum, which we're gonna talk about again anyways.
Speaking of the Nintendo Museum, I guess like
yeah,
the way I saw it going into that was like that's an unattainable thing for me. I will never get to
right.
go there.
Same.
It's a little too far away.
So it was hard. I didn't
Uh,
want to get myself excited for something I just can't do. Like,
Mhm.
I'm
what?
30 years old. I've never left the country.
It's tough. Like that's how I feel. Like I see this stuff and it's like, man, I'd love to check
Hang
that
on,
out, but
hang
how am I going
on.
to get there? I can tell you right now, before the whole
Can I
pandemic
do this?
happened, I went to New York specifically for a presentation about Super Nintendo World. And we're going to cover that and whatnot. And the hope being we got an invite to Super Nintendo World so we could cover it at the time. But then the pandemic happened and that all fell through. So I don't know if it would have happened or not, but yeah, that was my best chance to see something like that. And even then, I wasn't like, if they had a limited amount of people, I knew I wasn't going to be the one going to if it was the case. So it's tricky in that way. But now I can definitively say, like, I'm going to have to just be going to Japan normally if I'm going to get to check out the Nintendo Museum. And the museum itself looks quite cool. Having all the
Wait,
toys from
I got
Nintendo's
this.
past there, having all the interactive elements there.
I got this.
But
I got
What
this.
do you
Hold on.
what do you got?
what do you got?
Here we go. Look at that, everybody.
Oh boy,
Derek's got a dog. Hold on, I'm pulling up the
I
stream. I don't know what's happening.
I
We
don't
got
either.
our
Ah,
Look,
live. Or are you all ready for your live direct reaction on GVGcast? I got it playing right now. This looks so cool. It's the fact that it's the same building that they used to actually work in like a long time ago. That's really cool. And they transformed the whole outside into a Mario themed plaza. That's so nice. This place looks really awesome. Like we knew from I knew given how they treated Super Nintendo World, they were gonna like gamify it somehow. It wasn't gonna just be a museum per se. They were gonna do something to like make it a bit more interactive for people because this is Nintendo. They're not just gonna. And then look at this. You got like the massive controllers, the huge Game Boy and Switch overhead, and just the amazing display of everything that's there. Um,
mhm. Everybody really wants to work together uh, to use the Wii remote. That's the dream right now.
oh yeah, as I
I
mentioned in a tweet, if you haven't controlled a giant Wii remote together, are you truly soulmates? I don't think you are. I don't think
I
you guys prove
honestly,
it.
I want to see people play either Sin and Punishment on the N64 controller or Mario Party 1. Let's see them really rotate that joystick,
That's not,
thumb, that thumbstick.
how hurt do you want people to get? You hurt your thumbs and palms with just one. Do you want people to sustain actual injuries doing Mario Party, rotating mini games, playing Castaways or something, mashing the button?
Maybe, maybe.
Oh, these pictures are so cool though, from 135 years ago. That's so awesome.
Mhm.
I
I'm
do
gonna
I
like that
will
there
say,
are
I
those additional experiences too. Like, wasn't there like a paint your own
Hanafuna card.
card, Hanafuna card? Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
And then
for
there's
kids.
also like the virtual. It's like both physical and virtual like play experience, even if you don't know how to play, which looked neat. The one thing I don't like about that, not to be nitpicky, but there's separate tickets for those things when
Yeah,
already
and
when you're already in the museum. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but like Um,
They've
it,
also said that there's not enough coins on your ticket to play all the available games. So you got to pick and
Mm-hmm.
choose. So
so
you have to visit multiple times
You
if you
just
want to
gotta come back
experience
again.
did
everything in the
they
museum.
did they say you could reload coins while there, or do you have to actually come back?
I didn't see them mention it, so I don't know for sure.
I do like too that when you get your card, since you have to use your My Nintendo account, it uses your Mii. It prints out your Mii on the card.
Oh,
That's
Um,
that is
nice.
nice.
unless you're Miyamoto, and then you get an NES 8-bit Mario on yours instead.
um,
Oh, there's
I
just a
heard
gun.
mention. Well, somebody brought it up, but I like the idea. They like seeing all the old toys Nintendo made because it's easy to forget that this is a 100+ year old company.
Yeah.
Um, Somebody mentioned, man, this would have been the perfect opportunity for Nintendo to share design documents. Since this is a
Mhm.
museum, what went into making those old games, at least the NES games, and they never share that stuff. I feel like
Yeah, I
having in a
mean,
controlled environment like that, it would be really cool to check out.
I'm sure there'll be something akin to that in here that we just haven't seen thus far. I mean, we've only seen just a portion of the museum. There's other stuff that they haven't shown off, but yeah,
They
that's like
only
the real.
showed
Maybe
what 3 of the 8
I
exhibits.
don't know how many floors, but
Um,
if they have that, brilliant. That's the cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean
yeah,
that'll appeal
Or
to a
like
certain
here's a
audience.
prototype Famicom or something like that.
they could even do like themed days where like, oh, for the next month at Nintendo Museum, we're going to have design documents for this game on display.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because
they could.
museums will do that. They'll rotate their exhibits.
Hmm. These
Which
people are
is
like they're
cool.
just dancing around these cards right now.
There was this one guy during the shooting segment where Miyamoto was introducing them, and he like lifted up his gun to the camera, and I was like, I want to be that guy. He looks like he's so happy to be there right now.
Uh-huh.
um, Nintendo, hear me out. Can can we get some tickets? A little bit of bundle for the 6 members of GVG and a little cheap, just a cheap flight to Japan for all of us.
Would you fly Spirit across to the Pacific Ocean
I would
for
fly
this?
anything to leave the country.
That's just
Fair.
my sentiments on
I
a daily
haven't.
basis.
I've only left the country once, and it was back in 2008.
um,
It was to Japan, but still. But I was like, man, I'd love to go again.
Oh
So I feel
man,
I not quite as much as you, Brandon, but I do feel the pain.
this the little zapper area where you can use a zapper or the super scope, it just reminded me immediately of the section Bowser Jr.'s little minigame where you explore the entire part of the Super Nintendo world to like get access the keys to get access to play that extra mini game, and it looks a lot like that kind of interactivity is just so cool. And this is exactly the stuff I would expect it for Nintendo to do for something like this.
I
So
wonder if they would do if the game itself would like swap out every once in a while. Like
I don't know.
I love Mario, like it's me, but it would be nice
I
if it
mean,
wasn't always just Mario.
be perfect if we can get a sequel to Link's crossbow training.
There you go. That game's awesome. Or Star
no,
Fox.
you're
What's he
just
doing?
Yeah.
you're
Oh, Star Fox would be good.
you're just gonna get duck hunts, massively multiplayer duck hunt in this room, and you're gonna like it.
Oh God, so many
Duck Hunt
dogs laughing at
99?
you at once.
However many people you can fit, if you can fit 99 people into duck hunt
Wait,
99.
we just came up with a new 99 game. It's 99 ducks, but one person plays the gunner.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Everyone
be
else
like,
flies away.
oh, I thought you were gonna
That'd
be
be
like,
pretty interesting. You're the duck flying around.
I thought you were gonna be like, there's 99 people and you have to be the first one to shoot the duck, which also is
God,
possible.
talk about the trigger figure.
Oh.
Uh, that's a
The
free idea for you,
so
Nintendo.
Bun in Twitch chat points out, so you can't get
I
more
won't.
coins while there, which we did know, but you also have to get your tickets by lottery. You have to win them. So planning a visit Like, even if we went to Japan specifically for this, we might still not get in because it's by
Oh,
lottery.
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like getting tickets for a concert. It's the same system.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. Well, I guess unfortunate may not even be the right word. This is common in Japan. It's to prevent
Mm.
scalping, which is
Mhm.
great. I like it for that. But yeah, as a foreigner, this certainly makes it tough.
Which is a shame
Yep.
because I would love to do this. The year was god, like 2007, 2008, and I went to a convention in San Francisco called WonderCon, and they had a massive NES controller there. Same concept and everything. And same thing that's happening here, playing World 1-1 of Super Mario Brothers. And I'm just like, I wonder why Nintendo hasn't actually done this sort of thing anywhere yet. And they finally did it here. And not just with the Super Famicom or the Famicom, but with like other consoles as well. Like if I go back just a little bit, I was really curious to see what other kind of challenges they'd have here. So with the massive N64 controller, you have to what was it? What are the conditions? One of them was collect 50 coins. Another was defeat the Womp King in Womp's Fortress, and then another was defeat Bowser, which does in fact include rotating the stick around on that
Oh,
controller.
baby.
So I wonder I wonder how Brandon and I could coordinate to make this happen. I wonder, it'd be funny. I wonder if the D-pad doesn't get depressed at all because no one uses that for, for like, unless you're playing Kirby 64. It's just like there for show, or if it actually can be pressed. That'd be funny.
We got to use the exploit in the Bowser battle where as long as you touch the area around Bowser's tail, even if you walk away, you can still grab him.
Oh my god. I there was an E3 I went to, one of the last E3s I went to, where Sega actually brought a giant Genesis controller and you could play, I think it was Sonic 1 on it.
Oh heck yeah, yeah, that's totally
So that was
doable.
cool. Mhm. Oh yeah, that's really doable because you jump and like, all right, I'm gonna hold down so we can you know, spin dash. So
Poor
Yeah,
GameCube controller and poor Wii U gamepad.
you need a
yeah, I
whole.
don't think they're ever gonna get a giant Wii U gamepad,
You need
but
the entirety of GVG to function a GameCube controller
yeah, you
together.
would. Imagine playing Smash with that
We're
thing.
each assigned a button or the control stick. We have to like push the shoulder buttons in because the way they're triggers.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
Well, like I said earlier, the museum's probably not static, so hopefully some of this stuff
Mhm.
changes over time.
right.
And also,
Yeah.
hopefully, we ever get a chance to go.
One
It
day.
would be nice. It really would be nice, but
Oh,
man, I guess.
live audience chat is a good idea. Big virtual boy. Each
Oh
person gets
God.
one of the two lenses, so it's just 2D anyway.
Oh no.
This
Oh,
is
that's not
for
good.
Everyone's a boy for ants.
Oh well.
Oh gosh. Was there anything else from this week that caught you guys' interest?
From the week, or
Um,
from this, or from the week itself?
From the week itself.
Um, I had
I'm trying to
mentioned
think of like,
the implications of the fact that Animal Crossing Pocket Tour is ceasing its service as
right.
well. This is aside from Fire Emblem Heroes now, this is the final game that is being left unsupported, because we have like Dr. Mario, we had forgot that was a thing. Mario Kart Tour was discontinued its services last year, and now there's this Animal Crossing Pocket Tour, which is
I thought
surprising
you could.
because
I thought you could still play Mario Kart online. They just weren't
yeah,
making new.
you can still play it,
Okay.
but they're
Yeah,
no longer updating these games. You can also now play Mario Animal Crossing Pocket Tour, as they're developing an offline version, but there'll be no more further like updates for it going forward.
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. That's the big thing is that they don't get rid of it. They just like, okay, now it's just, pay and you can that they won't make any further money for it, but they also don't have to worry about supporting it. It's just there it is. Which honestly is a good way to send these games out to pasture.
Yeah, at least people can still play and interact with them. some of them, like Fire Emblem, are going to be a little awkward if they decide to do that, because it kind of lives and dies on its updates, like new characters being added, new chapters being added, rotating. I guess you could still do rotating modes as time goes on, but you wouldn't really be able to add new heroes. So whoever you have is just who you have. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, unless they implement another function of like earning currency and rotating banners. But that's a lot more work than just Animal Crossing, I think. And it's surprising because like Animal Crossing is only about 8 months older, or 8 months after Fire Emblem Heroes came out. That's still about like 7 years of life that this game got, because Fire Emblem Heroes is like 7.5 at this point. So that's the last 10 pull.
Fire Emblem Heroes is never going to die.
I don't
have they
know,
started putting
man.
engaged characters in yet? Because I'm sure they will.
Yeah, yeah.
haven't already.
It took them a while, but there's still like some key engaged characters and even like other characters that haven't been added yet. But like you've got a bunch of alts of the main characters and some of the other like ones that you would commonly would see. But it's just surprising how that game still survived. And I don't know, the meta of that is getting kind of out of hand, because there's like they've added the emblem characters too, of like Emblem Marth, Emblem Ike, Emblem Celica.
Oh geez.
And the ones like Emblem Ike and Celica, those two have added things into the game where it's really breaking the foundations of the game. And they're just adding characters to try and keep up. And so I don't know, it feels like, I don't know, it's weird. It might fall apart on itself as time goes on. Eventually it probably will, but people are still buying, people are still supporting it, getting orbs and summoning their favorite characters, and if as long as that continues, they'll keep it up, because it is definitely their most profitable mobile game to date.
Are there any characters that have not been added to the game yet? Like, I have to imagine by this point, every single Fire Emblem character is probably in there, at least from the old games.
The problem is that they continue to release alt versions and like seasonal versions. Like if you look at a character like Lynn or Camilla, there are so many versions of just that one character in the game, when they could be adding characters that haven't been included yet. Yeah, some characters that just appear at the beginning of some games haven't shown up. So it's like,
oh no.
we don't. Yeah, there's some characters like from Lynn's game, from Blazing Sword, from Ike's game, from Path of Radiance that just aren't in the game yet. So, but they'll prioritize others because some of them are just more profitable and more marketable than others. So it's a
But she has a new hat.
sometimes that's the case. You I mean, every year you gotta do 2 summer banners. We can't not put all of Fire Emblem Three Houses characters in a swimsuit, the guys and the girls. It's required. I think they've at this point gone through most of them, if not all of them at this point. So yeah.
Amazing.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this implication this has. I'm not sure if like the core team working on Pocket Tour also works on like the main Animal Crossing series the same way that it was for Mario Kart. So like the team leaving Mario Kart, I imagine they've gone on to work on the sequel, which is Mario Kart 10 or whatever the heck they're going to call it. So now for Animal Crossing, if that core team is going to now start working along the rest of the team that's working on whatever Animal Crossing game comes out on the Switch successor.
Yeah. And I liked it. Oh, go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I'm curious if Nintendo's mobile efforts are done, because I don't necessarily think they should be. I think there are still some like smaller experiences that they could get away with that would be good for brand awareness. I mean, brand awareness is their big initiative right now anyway, right? We've got theme parks, a museum, we've got movies. So I don't think mobile gaming going away is the right call for them. So I'm curious to see if there would still be some other stuff in the future.
Yeah.
The tricky thing for Nintendo is they always want it to be unique.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you want brand awareness? Here's Donkey Kong Endless Runner, where you're in honestly just Donkey Kong Endless Runner, and sometimes you have like cart levels and whatnot, change level packs, very much like Mario. But
DK King of Swing Endless Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's something along those lines, where it's just simple versions of other games, or I don't know, here's Duck Hunt but you tap, or again, I'm just throwing out ideas for brand awareness of what you could do. And they can have simple games, but it feels like they want to have something more complex that fulfills like what Nintendo is all about.
Yeah,
It's a
So
shame though, because I feel like there's a lost era, like especially like in the DS era, like Casino Luigi, some of those other Mario 64 DS mini games that just use touch control. I think there's some untapped territory there.
yeah, I
you
can
could,
see it.
you could definitely release a version where it's just like that little playroom in Peach's Castle where you have all these other games that they had for Mario Kart or Mario for Super Mario 64, DS, and others. But yeah, it's harder to say what they're going to do at this point now because they've definitely slowed down on their mobile efforts. Even a game like we have Pikmin Bloom, but that's something by Niantic, and that's the same with Pokemon. Like Pokemon is the company that's pushing to keep on the mobile efforts. I mean, we have Pokemon Sleep came out earlier this year, and we have the TCG coming out very soon. But that has like the kind of brand recognition and quality that you can easily just make a mobile anything of it at this point, and people will be
Yeah.
consumed by it. But for Nintendo, I guess you have to be a little more niche because like I feel like there was talks of a Zelda mobile something a
I think
while
there
back.
was for a while, and it just
Yeah.
never appeared.
Yeah, but yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. It's funny how we went from that era of like Nintendo should start doing mobile games and trying this and that, and then Mario Run came out, and they were like, no, no, and then they tried to do everything from traditional what you might expect from mobile games like Pocket Tour and um, Fire Emblem, and even Mario Kart. Unfortunately, had that gotcha element for a little while before they patched that out. But now it's like I don't know. Nintendo can do whatever they want. They're succeeding so much with the Switch and what they're planning with the Switch successor that I don't think they really have to rely on mobile market that much. But it'd still be cool to see what they want to try with it. They want to experiment.
I mean, I'll admit, I still play Super Mario Run. Like every once in a while, I'll just boot it up and play Remix while I'm bored. Like,
Yeah.
I've not touched it in years. But yeah, well,
Yeah.
we should probably move on to our patron topics for now. Just as a reminder,
Yeah.
you can support us over at Patreon at patreon.com/gvgaming and offer up questions for us to answer on the GVG cast. So who would like to go first? You know what, Daniel? It's been a long time. What topic did you choose?
Oh man, mine is from A Drink to the Past, who is asking, I know you all have great collections and neat merch, but what's the most recent cool merch thing you purchased? Just yesterday, went to the Nintendo store in New York for the first time and got 2 Zelda themed beer mugs. I think I saw those because I was in fact at at the Nintendo World store just a week ago, honestly. And now that I think about it, I was there buying stuff for family and for friends. I bought Steve a couple of things as well because he was asking. Uh, I didn't really buy anything for myself at that point, so I'm trying to
Oh
think
no.
what the most recent thing I purchased. Otherwise, we have like official merch. I wonder. I
I'm
have
trying to
like
think what I got last.
I'm holding mine. So for ready to show mine, I'll bring it out.
oh, I probably should
Yeah,
grab
well,
whatever.
Daniel and I think.
Yeah, let's
So as you
see.
know, Monster Hunter 20th anniversary has been going on.
Oh my
Um,
god.
and they did a collaboration with Zoids.
Oh.
And they released a Rathalos and a Magnamalo. I have put together Rathalos. Magnamalo is still in his box. I can't really show what it does since I can't put it on a table, but it does walk and open its mouth and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
You can see its eye moving too.
God, I remember
Amazing.
Zoids.
I love this. This is one of the coolest things Monster Hunter's ever done as far as like a merch collab. Um, yeah, I had to import these from Japan, but as soon as they were announced, I was like, I gotta get these.
Fair.
Amazing.
That's quite fair. Um,
I do have a couple.
honestly, I
Let me
think the
grab mine.
last thing I got that was any kind of special merch was the Xenoblade 3 Collector's Edition. I think that's it. I think that's the last thing.
That's a while ago now.
Yeah, it has been. I just don't. I can't get those collector's editions anymore. Just they get pricey, and it's just I don't spend extra. But I mean, there's trust me, there's stuff I see that I like. Ooh, I want that, but I can't afford it. there's like, oh man, that looks nice, but oh well.
Oh, it was recently Michaela and I's anniversary. And her anniversary gift was a giant Psyduck plush,
Oh,
like
nice.
actual size Psyduck plush.
Can actually
It's very
kick it around
squishy.
and give it a headache.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's holding his head. That's his pose.
Oh, that's great. That's so good.
Very recently was I had pre-ordered it a while back, and then it only recently got released. I gotta stand back. Was this Corrin
Ooh.
figure way back from ages ago? This is the Norian Noble Corrin from Fire Emblem Fates, and I thought it was just like a really cool design. And I have another. I'm outing myself here too. I have the Lens figure, so you can't see it very well,
Oh,
but it's somewhere
lucky.
back there too. That was one I got a while back, but this is one of the most recent ones that I have. And aside from that,
It's amazing how much better female Corrin's design is than male Corrin.
poor male Corrin. And then when I did get one thing for myself while I was at the Nintendo World Store, and it was this, so I could throw it at my sisters. Behold, Bullet William himself, right here. I could just toss it at everybody. It's a perfect size to just throw at my sisters.
And it's plushy, so it all fits. There you go.
I don't have it in here, but another thing I got recently was Square Enix just recently released Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, the board game.
Oh.
It's a cooperative board game with a cute little Chocobo meeple. And it has like this cool like rotating dial thing that determines what happens on every turn. But yeah, a cool little board game. Square Enix actually has some pretty sick board games, so if you're into that stuff, check it out. It's very cute, adorable art.
It sounds it. I'm trying to think, but yeah, I make it a point to not really look at stuff like that because it's like I want it. I really want
It's
it.
tough.
Oh, I can't
It
help
is
myself.
tough.
I'm uncontrollable in my ways.
If I had more money, I would have a Rathalos Secret Labs chair. But trying to be careful. Egg roll in our
You gotta
chat.
be.
The Monster Hunter World board game. That's a deep well, my guy. That stuff gets very pricey, and there's a lot of
boy.
it.
Oh no.
This
Oh no.
this isn't recent, but I just had it around, so I wanted to share. I have also a tiny Nendroid of Zelda from Breath of the Wild. She comes. I don't have the Link. I want to get Link because she comes with the Master Sword. But Link, the Link Nendroid doesn't come with a Master Sword. It comes with like just a regular other sword. So you have to get both to complete the
I
set
hate
That's
when
together.
they do that.
That's how they
crap.
get you.
Like
Like,
they do that with SH Figure Arts. Like
yeah.
You know, like if you want Goku's power pole, his power pole's gonna be in like a Gohan set for some reason, or like pieces of the
They know it.
Kamehameha are separated out.
Oh, how dare they?
I know what they're doing. I do have Wind Waker Link Nendoroid. I like that little. I like him.
Yeah, that one's
There's
great.
that Link Between Worlds. I think it's a Figma.
Figma, yeah, that one looks
Yeah,
really
that's a
nice.
good one.
I've always wanted that one. And now they're releasing the Tears of the Kingdom Figma, and they are all so good, and I want them so bad.
They've been showing off the Uni Figma
Oh, I saw that.
recently.
Oh,
It's like
nice.
Yeah,
that looks good as
I think it's
well.
on pre-order right now. I want to.
That's
I don't know, man.
I
I feel
have
like
a bone
I just.
to pick with
yeah.
Xenoblade, by the way. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah?
just showed you this cool build kit Rathalos I got. There's a ton of mechs in Xenoblade 3. There are mechs in Xenoblade 2. Why don't we have Gunpla for these things? I would buy
You'd
all
think
of
they
them.
would. I think they have. There has to.
There's one.
I feel
There
like
is one.
I feel like I've seen one.
Yeah, the was it the Siren from Xenoblade
Yes,
2?
I think Siren. Yeah.
Why is that the only one?
I don't know.
Xenoblade 3 is full of mechs. They're everywhere.
It's a good question. Honestly, I was shocked when I started seeing like I think it was Xenogears mechs getting toys. Like what the heck? That
Like
threw me
now?
for a loop. Yeah, I think like
Weird.
let me see here.
Wait. What was it called? Like a model kit or something?
Gunpla, I believe it is.
Gun.
Model kit would be, yeah.
Let's see here.
The heck?
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't this year, but last February, 2023, they released a Xenogears Weltall figure. Looks sick, but it's like
$25.
What's that?
It's $225.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Looks sick though.
Oh yeah, it does.
You can tell we're all little boys at heart because we just love giant robots.
Yeah, they do have all of the like all the major gears, even some of the characters from Xenogears getting merch. It's like what the heck? It's apparently it's for the 25th anniversary, but okay, cool. Re-release the game.
Anything but that, right?
That's the Mega Man problem. Like
Yep.
we'll do all this other crossover stuff. God forbid if you get a new game or anything else that you really want.
That Gunpla, I see. Let me see here. So here's that figure. So highly detailed from the
Awesome.
siren from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, the siren's really cool. There is more than one occasion I nearly bought it and had to talk myself out of it.
It's probably for the best. Probably for the best.
It's so beautiful. And why don't we have more of them?
Because they're expensive. Isn't there is that figure of Terra riding the mech that I think, isn't it like $500 from Final Fantasy VI?
Oh.
Let me see here. Final
Just
Fantasy
started
VI.
playing that game, by the way, for the first time.
Let me see. It was a 1/6 scale statue, I believe. Here it is.
$13,000?
Yes, $13,000 for this. But it is incredibly detailed. I'll send it over to Daniel so he can bring it up. I'll put in partners.
Good God.
Hold on here.
It's huge.
Oh, it's a 1/6 scale. It is massive.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, so Terra is like a 1/6 scale, and everything else is also 1/6.
Yeah, scaled to her.
Oh my god!
You can get it with
right?
or without Moogle.
Yeah.
How?
Oh, she has different poses.
Mm-hmm. It's at least customizable. So, but again, I don't think I can spend $13,000 for that.
Can I compare this to a person? I want to see how big.
So that'd be a really good house payment.
Oh yeah.
Down payment.
There's so much detail in this armor.
We're talking about figures, and Ash is posting food in the live audience.
You know, Ash, get out of here.
Ash, go home. You're drunk. What time is it, Ash? Go to sleep.
That is a good point.
You're in the UK right now. I can't believe how much detail this has. I'll even replicate the intro with this shot here. Wow.
Oh, that's nice. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
But well, that's our little boys, our inner little boys coming out with all the like giant like mech robots and all that.
This is not the post show.
Yeah, it's not the post show. Brandon, what's your topic?
Mine's from Joshua Hunter. It says, "Hey GVG crew, I was wondering, do you have a favorite fourth wall break in a video game? For instance, mine comes from R No Surge. Did I say that right?
I think so.
When a character turns to the camera and tells you to hit the up and X button, which causes another character to ask what they're talking about, but they just say the player knows what I mean. There are a lot of games that do that one. It's always cute when it happens. There's the first one I can remember, like as a kid, is in the Thousand Year Door with Lord Crump.
Oh yeah.
Like it's on the Keelhaul Key chapter, and he's disguised in part of your crew, and then he like walks away and stares at the camera, and he's like, "I know you know who I am, but don't go telling everybody else." It's so funny.
And then your partner's like, "Who's he talking to?"
It's really good. That's one of my favorites. And then another one I'll throw out is and this is, people talk about this all the time, but the Phantom Hourglass puzzle where you have to close your DS.
Yeah.
I love that one.
That was great. That took me a long time to just figure that one out myself.
Most of us closed our DSs in frustration and found out we solved the puzzle by accident.
Yep. Same. That's exactly how I found. That's how I found out about it. Honestly, there was one that was recently discovered. Like, if you do, I don't remember the game at all. No, there was one that just came out about Evil Within 2. I finally remember what it was. Evil Within 2, fourth wall break. Let's see. Basically, you go out of your way to go to this. It's like, why are you still here? Or why haven't you left yet? It's like, well, there's evil out there. Ah, yes, but there's evil within too. Just dumb dialogue like that. That's kind of hard to find.
I thought of another quick one. At the end of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the final boss you fight, the way his eyes are designed make it so that they always look like they're looking at the player and not your hunter. It's just an optical illusion, but it really makes that hunt creepy when it feels like the monster is trying to kill you and not your character.
That's good. Another one I just saw, I've kind of forgot about, that is very appropriate. One of I think it's Deadpool's level 3 special from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where he literally grabs a hold of the super bar and whacks you with it. So that's fun.
Oh, I have a whole bunch of little ones. I mean, I think Metal Gear Solid is a huge one for across multiple games. Of course, you have the Psychomantis and controlling, and you have to unplug your controller and put it in a different port so you can beat the boss. I love the one in Metal Gear Solid 2 when Roy Campbell's just going off when everything's going haywire. And then he's like, turn off the console right now. Turn off the game console. And I think I've seen a streamer that's actually had to turn it off because they thought something was supposed to happen.
Oh, no.
That game just went wild with its fourth wall breaking as it got towards the end. But other ones, of course, like some well-known ones like Undertale. Like that one, it's kind of a thing you see throughout the game. But obviously, like towards the genocide route, towards the end, you really see that fourth wall break of like, oh, you're actually this person doing this thing. I can't, well, I'll mention that one in a moment, but the other one I thought of, it just kind of, you just surf it till the end of the game, is Doki Doki Literature Club. That one just pretty much is like my favorite example of that, because of how many ways it can kind of sense that you're doing things. It can read, if it's on PC especially, like it can read the fact that it can read your name in the PC console, not just like the one you put in the game, but your actual name. It knows when you're recording or streaming. So she's like, "Hi everyone." And towards the very end, it's very surreal. I obviously I can't spoil anything about this, but for what I have seen thus far, I think my favorite example of fourth wall breaking is going to be in Metaphor ReFantasio. And I can't say anything about it now, but just wait till you see what it has in store for you. That's all I'll say at the moment.
Yeah, bring out a monster is like, wait, is that it makes some sort of Persona reference?
That'd be kind of weird.
Or he points a gun to my head, his head, or and something like that. It's like, wait, what are you doing? Brings out a monster or something.
God, I
I
cannot.
gotta go. I'll be right back.
No problem.
No
I will
worries.
be here talking about how I can't talk about metaphor. um, but yeah, even what I'm talking about right now, I can't delve into that too much. Oh well, I'll do it a little bit in the preview video that we're gonna release. In this coming up soon. I'm working on it right now, but
Mm.
yeah, that game's gonna be really special. I can't wait. I'm playing it over in New York. I had a great time. Everyone was there having a good time. I got to meet a lot of people. I'll probably talk about this more in the post show about my New York adventures because I don't want to interrupt our
Yeah.
question right now. But yeah, fourth wall breaks. Those are always fun.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'll move on to my question then. This comes from Disney Duncan Metcalf. Excuse me. How would you make a bad game good? That means fixing a game that was bad but got better over time. A bad game that was released before the days of DLC. What would you do to make it good again?
Oh
Hmm.
man.
I gotta
Which
think of the bad game I'd want to fix. That is the question, isn't it? So what would be the bad game I would fix?
bad game made good?
I mean, I guess I can go to my easy, quick answer that I would think of. Go to Castlevania: The Adventure. They kind of already did with Rebirth, but they completely changed the way they basically the entire game. It's essentially a brand new game. But Rebirth, it really comes down to don't downgrade your whip, up the speed, and improve the graphics. You do those three things, all of a sudden the game's way better.
Just like those few little tweaks and fixes that could just improve the entire experience, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing
Yeah.
how what that can do. Um, Bolt Mouse suggests Sonic 06 and Mega Man X7. I mean,
Oh
yeah.
06, oh 06 needs a bit of an overhaul than just tweaking a few things. I mean, that's what we have some
Yeah.
really astoundingly talented modders to fix that entire game with. That's been an ongoing thing thus far.
Can't believe what they've done.
Um, but yeah, this it's crazy to think that there was in fact an era where games when they came out, that's just as they were. There was no patching, there was no updates, no DLC. That's just what you played. And people will make some jokey answers about certain games that they played before, like um gosh, I don't think any Smash games are bad. I think they're fine as they are. but but I know some people would just howling for Brawl to not have tripping, to up its speed, to be a little
Mhm.
more weighty instead of floaty. I don't think Brawl is a bad game. Um, these are the same people that say Melee is a bad game. Like people just have different preferences for the kind of games they want to play and play styles. But I don't know. I would remove tripping. That's something I would remove. I don't know why that had to
Everybody
be
wants to
there.
get rid of tripping. um, yeah, that's another good one. Trying to think of other. I see like Crash 4's completion requirements could use tweaking. Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, which hey, we fortunately there's something being done about that. At least the visuals on that one. Not much you can
Yeah.
do about the roster, but that's it's fine. It's unique. I think it's fine to have more of a unique roster, especially if the next one it fixes that. Trying to think of other bad games I've played recently, but
Yeah, I
not
haven't
much is
really.
coming to me as far as like truly bad ones. Like the other one I like I hate the game I hate is Kane Lynch 2, but I don't know if how like you'd have to change that game on a fundamental level because I just find it abhorrent.
Yeah,
So
I'm really trying to think of games where you could just do a few tweaks like the ones we already mentioned and not just like overhaul the whole thing. Like this could just be a patch instead. Uh
mhm.
like what they did with Symphonia on the Switch. It just I mean it still has some problems, but that's an example of making a good game bad. So that's a different question altogether. But yeah, they things like that you can totally patch out and fix to us to some degree. but there's all a certain fundamental level of certain games that you can't really fix them unless you do major overhauls instead. But yeah, I don't
Yeah, like
play
I've seen
bad
Sticker Star
games.
mentioned, and like you have to overhaul Sticker Star on a fundamental level because you essentially have to change the script, add a script, find new characters to play with, and change the battle system. There's so much more you have to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that come to mind that I can think of improving, but I don't think they're like bad games at all. Like things like
Mhm.
since we're on Mario RPGs, Mario and Luigi Dream Team just went too long, a little bit too long. Like that's
The
something that
pacing,
you could have
yeah.
cut down a bit. You could have cut the pacing, and that's something that could have been a more like digestible experience. But I don't think that game is necessarily bad or anything. There's still a lot of value just by playing it. It just goes too long. That's just my main criticism.
Hmm. Yeah, and there's some games where I think they're completely fine, but I would like a better translation for them. I think that would help a lot because I'll be honest, sometimes I have a hard time going back to the original Final Fantasy VII just because I notice the text errors and I know it's not as accurate. It's just like release the same game to me, just get a new translation in there, please.
My brain will play those games, and nowadays because of how well developed you can make environments now, all the pre-rendered backgrounds, my brain will trace out all the bounding areas of like, oh, they had to cut this here and they overlaid this layer right here so that you can go around it, and it's not really a true layer. There's a bunny in Brandon's shot right now. Hey, I think that's Hunter. Hi,
Yeah,
bun.
there is.
I got completely distracted by I think that's Hunter. He's being a good boy bouncing around
No,
right now. But yeah,
he's gone now.
yeah, my graphic designer brain will see all that stuff in pre-rendered backgrounds and just kind of piece it apart, and I'm just like, no, play the game instead. Oh
Oh
man.
boy.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
trying to think. Those are the more interesting games to potentially get remakes or remasters because it's potentially more interesting to have a bad game and made good, but it has a reputation now, so it's like not going to sell as well because well, it was a bad game before. So
yeah,
oh well,
this is more
oh
important.
well.
We're gonna
But
get Hunter in the shot. Hold on, this is more important right now. Hi, Hunter.
there
Dad's
he
not here right
goes.
now. I don't know where your dad is right now, but
Yeah, he's off terrorizing. This is Hunter hours.
this is the show now. Watch out, everybody. This is my say hello to Hunter, everyone. Okay,
Oh
Hunter.
gosh.
What game do you think could be improved? What's a game with bunnies?
Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle or Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout.
How can we improve that one, Hunter? Tell me. I need to know. Do you have any
Think of
opinions
other
on the state of our uh Hunter, what are your opinions on the state of game preservation today?
Jazz Jackrabbit. Trying to think of other like rabbit based games. Sonic Advance. Well, Cream's broken in that game. Like you don't need to fix up Creams. He's already like the best she'll ever be. Well, I think we've we should probably call it here. Thank you so much for that question, Disney Duncan.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it. I'm just gonna assume that Brandon would have said older Monster Hunters with new Monster Hunter conveniences. So
Probably.
there we go. That takes care of that. But that will be the show today. Thank you all so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. And as always, we have to give our
That one's
patrons at the producer tier. The show just simply would
no one
not be
saw that.
possible without all of you. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting us for all 113 episodes of this. Holy
Wow.
crap. And of course, an extra special thank you to all of our executive producers, and that includes Brandon Bovia, Fangs, Z Patty, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Blake, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedron, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Kiki Griffin, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Andrew Medeiros, Darchi, Becca, Essex08, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goran Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Rioner, Benji Bearpup, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Rosa Pardo Bowling, hi Steve's mom, Darksteel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, Derek, Colin, Blaystar 25, Twilord, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Keel, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, Jim Wakeland, Aramis Baramis, Lord Metarex, Blaze Collard, Eric, CatEV Person 5, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, Ryan Hanley, Somnia, The Game Jamie, Zombie Joe, and Marathon Max. Thank you all so very much. Thank you all for tuning in for this latest episode of the GVG cast. Of course, we'll be back theoretically next week. It all depends. Honestly, that all depends on Brandon's availability, because Ash, Steve, and Daniel will all be at PAX West, correct? Correct?
Yeah, we will all be there. If you saw the credits happen just now, no, you didn't. It's been a while, and I'm trying to figure out what button does what right now. I have a Stream Deck now. I should just automate that with my Stream Deck.
It's fine.
But yeah, we're gonna us three are gonna be there. So GVG cast is not for certain next week, and if not, just come to PAX and see us in person. You can yell at us in person about it. This is fine with me.
Way better. Oh goodness. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Till then, bye.
Till we meet again.